Hello. I'd like to address something that's becoming more and more popular, and before it blows up, I want to get it set straight and right because I think people are messing it up. Let me move this camera over here. So, topic of today, Americans are pretty ass at hydrating. You can see here I have the three musketeers, Element, Gorilla Mode Nitric, and Prime. So, I've introduced actually to several of my friends the concept of fucking lemon water, and they've been like, oh, what? It's so crazy. um we're like, it's supposed to be the most basic thing in the world. Like, you put lemon in water. Every single culture has been doing it where lemons are available, and then, like, that helps, that does wonders for you. But here apparently it's some big mystical thing. Hold on, let me get this a little bit smaller. Here we are. So proper soups, the kind that isn't all thickened and just pureed and, processed, are pretty much non-existent here. Like, people call it stock here, and like when you cook with them, they always say like, yeah, save the bones and everything and the vegetable scraps for stock, never soup, because soups don't really have a place. The chicken and noodle, fucking canned Campbell soup can, whatever. That, yeah, people might know that. People might know what else, like alphabet soup, which is just like an affront to God. But actual good soups aren't very popular over here. And of course, soups are mostly water, and therefore they hydrate you. They're also salty, so fluid retention, very nice. So that's not a big thing here. Element and other companies are becoming popular now. I was inspired to make this video. Hold on. There we are. I was inspired to make this video because I saw like the unflavored Element powder, and it's like, hold on, what the fuck is this? Because essentially, it's salt. It's salt and a little bit of potassium and magnesium. You can literally just like pop a magnesium pill and then eat a banana and then like salt your water. That's a very, very quick, simple Element recipe. And they're selling this for like $3 per thingamabobber. And it's like, bro, $36 for like 12 teaspoons of salt. Like, are you serious? So, yeah, specifically the unflavored, because I know the flavored ones, like, you can't recreate as easily, although still a little bit simpler than you might think. You can't recreate them as simply, but the unflavored one is literally just salt with a little bit of potassium. And if you use the like fake salt, the sodium-free salt, I think that's just potassium, like some form of that. So that's like, that may be even an easier way to make it, is just have some regular salt, some of the potassium salt, and some fucking magnesium, and then you're golden. And then you don't need to pay $30 for plastic packaging of just salt. So this is what I call the steakhouse effect. Is when steakhouses kind of have a monopoly on their steaks and on their, or like for a while they did before, specifically like Guga Foods and Babish and Joshua Weissman, the goats, and Gordon Ramsay came onto the scene and showed everyone, hey, steaks are easy and they're accessible. They may not be very cheap, but they're easy to make. So basically, before that, steakhouses have their monopoly on steaks, like Peter Luger selling a fucking $100 steak or whatever. And Peter Luger is supposed to be very legendary. I've never been there. I will be there, but I will go there at some point in my life. But it sounds very cool. However, many steakhouses aren't very cool, don't have a big history, but they're still able to sell like hundreds of dollars worth of steak. Especially, oh my goodness, the Nusret, I don't know how to pronounce it, the Salt Bay one. Literally thousands of dollars are spent there every day for fucking like $60 steaks. It's like, bro, you can do so much better. So just like steakhouse effect, we can very easily make steakhouses go out of business by just showing people, hey, go down to your local grocery store or farmer's market, pick out this cut, cook it this way, season it with this, and you'll be good. The fucking entire steakhouse appeal is gone. Well, the experience is still there, but the overcharging is fucking ridiculous. So this is why I call it the steakhouse effect, is because companies like this, they overcharge you for things that you can make very, very easily at home. So what do people do in Europe? Because I said Americans suck in hydration, and I mean, like, where else could I be from? Depending on, never mind. Basically, sodas and Coke, like colas, are viewed as cool just because they're American, right? It's like, oh, this is what the American people do. This is cool. And from Europe, like, Europe is here, maybe EU is here in power. America's like fucking way bigger world force power. So everyone's like, oh shit, people who do this there must be very cool. And this is what must make them cool. The American, like, industrial complex fucking military must be due to Coca-Cola. So let's drink that. But they don't think that it's hydrating, obviously, because it's just sugar, which is kind of nice because you do need the glycogen, whatever the fuck. It's carbonated, which is kind of nice, but then it's just like there's a quality to it that when you taste something that's actually meant to hydrate you better, you'll know. And sodas are just not it. And whenever on a hot day it's like, ah, fuck yeah, let's get a Dr. Pepper, I'm just like, really? Really? Because in my opinion, that's not. And the opinion of a bunch of other people, that's just not the way to go. And the products and formulas like Element Gorilla Mode Nitric, by the way, I don't know if I got a defective a defective package, but I don't know if, like, it basically almost made me gag. They were very nice about it, they gave me a refund, however, they, the flavor was not very good on mine. I've heard it got improved, and it may very well be improved, and I don't want to just be a professional hater, but I would like to warn you, so, of these things. So, these products and formulas exist there, and you can definitely get them, although they're a bit more like abrasive with the packaging. It's like Ultimate Muscle Explosion Pump Giga Power Drink. This will win you the love of every girl in your school, and they'll just put that on the packaging, or at least where I'm from in Hungary. It's like they'll put a clearly roided out guy on the packaging. It's like, yeah, it'll make you look like this. These things exist there, but they're more of like a meme. It's like everyone knows that, okay, this is over the top. This is not like a sustainable day-to-day thing. Because when I hear Mike Israel say something like, and this isn't a dig at Mike Israel as a person, just the one thing he said, when he says this shit like, oh yeah, I get some Element in the morning and then get a fucking Prime with a Genius shot in it and some sugar for like, it's like, what is your gut microbiome gonna think of all this shit? Man, it's not sustainable. So, people abroad have been eating, drinking for centuries things that do the same job but better, and what these things were based off of. Because a fruit flavored fucking beverage, it's like, I wonder where that came from, and it's not just juice. So let me introduce to you my big solution: elderflower. Sorry, hold on, I have to take some water in myself. Elderflower cordial, the in real life IRL health potion. I rediscovered this recently at a British specialty food store, because I've had this all the time in Hungary, and then just like not almost at all recently, because that's not a thing here in LA. Vodka syrup. It's amazing. They're basically just translation of elderflower cordial. This is the default beverage. Syrup or syrup. Very hard to decipher that. That's the default drink for Hungarians when summer comes rolling around and it becomes hot as fuck, and then people are like, hey, what do I drink? So they're super varied, and like there's a bunch of different types of these cordial, I guess as the British would call them, and pretty much most fruits can be used in the making of them. But today we're going to be going over elderflower because it's unique and not many people know of it in LA. I also got inspired by rewatching the Peaky Blinders episode in which they did this, because that was very cool. So, hold on, let me just make this fucking, my OBS is a little bit wonky right now. Okay, there we are. So, here's the recipe. I got this from the link over here. Go look at that for the actual amounts. I've translated, well, the amounts that you need. I put them here. It's like 3 oranges or something. It's a little bit of maybe preservatives, if you'd like to use that. But basically, here's the recipe on the bottom right. Let me go over it very, very quickly. Hold on. I guess I can put it in there. Okay. We're just gonna move the camera so it doesn't disturb. Okay, so boil 1.5 liters of water. This is for, you don't drink this, by the way. What cordial is, or syrup is, you put a couple tablespoons into the drinking glass, and then you fill it up with water or sparkling water, and then you drink that, because water is the main thing that you should be drinking. This is like a syrup, right? If you try to drink this like a beverage, please do not. I know nobody who's watching this is retarded enough to do this, but just in case you are, keep that in mind. So you boil 1.5 liters of water, then you pour it into a container of your choice with elderflower. I think like 25 flowers, 25 stems. But where do I find elderflower? Just Google. Just ChatGPT it, Google it, please. I'm sure it's around you if you're in a developed nation. Peel of like 1 or 3 oranges and 1 or 3 lemons. Go look at the recipe, please. But yeah, just a peel of a couple of oranges and a couple of lemons. I don't know if it's peel or zest. It's up to you. So, it achieves pretty much the same purpose. But I would recommend the zest and not the white pit, because that may make it very bitter. So the next day, so leave that overnight just out, covered with the kitchen towel, and the next day, strain it and bring the mixture to a boil again, adding a kilo of sugar, I know, along with the juices of your citrus fruit that you've reserved. So zest it. So basically, boil the 1.5 liters of water in the same pot, yoink in the elderflower, and grate in the zest of the orange and lemon peel. I mean, the zest of the orange and lemon, and then let that cool down. Just leave that out overnight, covered with a kitchen towel, and then the next day, strain the mixture somehow and bring it to a boil. Add your kilo of sugar along with the juices of your citrus fruit. So you fucking cut them in half and squeeze them in from the day before. So heat the mixture until the sugar dissolves, plus a few minutes for good measure. You don't have to like turbo reduce it or boil it too much. And then you want to pour the strained mixture, after you've done all that, into sterile mason jars. So boil the water, put in the shit, strain the shit out, boil it up again, add your sugar and the juices of your citrus, heat until the sugar is dissolved, and then pour into, plus a few minutes. It should be like a syrup consistency, but it shouldn't be too thick. And then you pour it into your mason jar of choice. Not of choice, you just put it into mason jars, my guy. And then, when desired, whenever you want this drink, you just add a tablespoon or two to the bottom of your glass before adding some sparkling or still water, and then you're ready with one of the greatest beverages that nature has to offer, in my opinion. Here we are. On to the benefits. Now, the macros. Could you guess what the macros are from the recipe? They have fast digesting carbs, so if you do 2 tablespoons, that should be having like, oh good lord, 20 to 30 grams of sugar in it, which isn't that good for you. But if you're training, it's, in my opinion, not the worst thing in the world, especially if you're not having many or any other desserts during your day. It should be completely fine. And then the micronutrients. There are apparently a lot of antioxidants like flavonoids and like there's a lot of vitamin C in it. There's a lot of minerals and then other vitamins. So they tested like it has a high ash content. Or I think like they burn it and makes a lot of ash, and then like they compare that to some other thing, and the minerals are what's responsible for that. So they're like, oh, this shit has a lot of minerals. I'm not an expert on this, at least not yet. So I've read that there's antioxidants, minerals, and vitamins in elderflower, which is very, very nice. Again, I didn't know this before Googling it, but once I Googled it, it's like, yeah, it fucking makes sense, because intuition, you drink it, you're hydrated, it tastes amazing, and it tastes very floral and natural. So it just makes sense that it would have all those good things in it when the scientists look into it further. Here's my closing message. Not everything needs to be very, very giga science based and element like this powder that you're just like, oh, hello, Gorilla Mode Nitric, $60. Not everything needs to be this. Believe a little bit in magic and a little bit in tradition. The magic I say because it's an IRL health potion. You can like imagine yourself like regaining stamina, regaining mana, or just health when you're drinking this. And believe in tradition because it's a very traditional thing. These cordial, these syrups, they last a while. Especially if you put preservatives in them, but even if you don't put preservatives in them, they should be fine. Just kept at a room temperature as long as you follow the instructions here, and then put them in sterile mason jars that are sealed. So there you are. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, you may not have a lot of time in this world, but you do have enough. Peace.